I'd like to show you a trick for setting your levels, your volumes. This is called the pink noise trick. Again, we're using this pink noise thing that we talked about briefly earlier. And pink noise, again, represents all frequencies evenly up the spectrum per octave. So if you try and think of your song as, well, try and think of the elements of your song. They should fill the frequency spectrum to some extent. Not to say that it needs to be totally flat between the human hearing range, but there should be, you should make use of the full human hearing range between 20 hertz and 20 kilohertz. If you're only having loads of information in certain frequency areas, but you're missing out loads of frequency areas, then your track might perhaps feel a bit lifeless because you're not really utilizing the whole frequency range of your capability of hearing. So when we use pink noise as a reference, we can do something kind of cool. Let's listen first of all to this loop. This is a loop with a lot of problems, right? This is a non-mixed, rough sounding loop of some elements. And I'm going to use pink noise to set these elements in a sort of rough ballpark of volume that they relate to each other a bit better. Okay, so there's a lot of problems with this. Kick drum's weak, snare's loud, bass is loud, hi-hat's muffled. Okay, so let's try this. Again, just our noise sample, right? So what we want to do is use this as a reference, and we want to adjust the volume of each element of our song so that it can just about be heard over this noise. Okay, the noise is basically representing a song, say, and we want each of our elements to be at a volume level that is welcome in the song. So let's start with the kick. And we want it to just be turned to the point that we can almost hear it, or well, we want to hear it, we just want to hear it over the pink noise, right? Okay, let's see how that sounds in relation to before, right? A little bit more in the ballpark of what we kind of want. And this isn't...
Sorry, see, in terms of like the level you set the pink noise,
yeah.
That make any difference there at all?
Good question. At the moment, I'm interested in the relationship between the elements, and I'm not interested at how loud they are I'm not bothered if it's at a certain loudness or not at this particular moment. What I'll do is group them together by clicking it and holding shift and selecting them all. Then I can turn them all up together as with the same relationship as each other. It's the relationship I'm interested in rather than the current volume. So
technically that wouldn't make any difference then if you're just doing that.
No, technically no, because we've all got volume controls on our. Yeah, but it's a good question though, because you kind of think, oh, what volume should I set my things at? At this particular moment, it's the relationship between the volumes that's the important thing. Any questions so far about that? Does that kind of make sense, that pink noise thing? This isn't to be taken as a way to cheat and do your mix, you know, with this reference. It's more a guideline to get everything in the rough ballpark. And then from there you can decide which elements are more important than others, which you're going to make a bit louder, which you're going to make a bit quieter. So, not too far off. However, this is a bit loud. Oh. This roll. I feel like this roll isn't so important at the moment. Stuff like that's a bit loud. Kick drum needs a bit more. Okay. Now we have a rough volume ballpark that we can play with, and we can try and fine-tune this a bit and gain some space and create some sort of harmony between these elements a little bit.